Hello everyone, this is Andrew from Crown Academy of English. In today's video, we're going to look at English proverbs. So, what is a proverb? Well, a proverb is a short sentence or expression. A proverb often gives advice or expresses a common life experience. So, in this video, you will learn 9 common proverbs with examples. Proverb 1, curiosity killed the cat. So what does this mean? Well, the literal meaning, the original meaning, is, well, a cat puts itself in danger when it is too curious. Okay, so it is dangerous to be too curious about something. So that's the literal meaning. And the real meaning in modern English, it means that it is bad to be curious about other people's affairs or other people's business, personal affairs. So we say this proverb to people who ask personal questions. So we say this to people who are very nosy. Example, Jane says, "I like your car. Was it expensive?" So Sarah replies, "Thanks. Yes, it was very expensive." And Jane continues with the personal questions. She asks, "Where did you get the money?" And Sarah replies, "Curiosity killed the cat." So here, when Sarah says this, she is getting fed up now with Jane. So Sarah is basically saying, stop asking me questions. It's none of your business. It's private. It's personal. Okay, so Sarah is essentially saying to Jane, it's none of your business. Okay, stop being curious. Proverb 2. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So, the original literal meaning is, well, if all of your eggs are in one basket, question, what happens if you drop the basket? So, if you have one single basket with lots of eggs in it, and you carry the basket, and you drop the basket, all of your eggs break. So it's obviously a very bad thing. So you're taking a big risk. It's a big risk if you put all of your eggs in one basket. So the real modern meaning of the proverb, so it's obviously safer to put the eggs in many different baskets. Okay, so the real meaning of the proverb is, don't put all of your resources into one project or plan because it's too risky. The risk is too high. Example, I have invested my money in 5 different companies because I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket. So, a common strategy when investing in stocks and shares is to invest in lots of different companies. We diversify because we don't want to have all of our eggs in one basket. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. So the literal meaning is, well, if you have 5 eggs, it isn't certain that 5 chicks will be born because, unfortunately, sadly, some of the 5 might die. So we should wait until all of the chicks are born before we count them. So that's the literal meaning. That's the original meaning of the proverb. But the actual meaning in modern English, when we use it, so we are saying, do not come to any conclusions about something before you are certain. Okay? So don't jump to any conclusions. Do not make plans based on something happening before you are certain that it will happen. Okay? Example. Jane says, "The exam went well. I'm sure I passed. Let's celebrate." And Sarah replies, "Let's wait until you get the official results. Don't count your chickens before they hatch." Okay? So don't celebrate before you are certain that you have passed. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. So the literal meaning is, well, when you look at the neighbour's grass, it always seems to be greener than yours. So the grass always seems to be greener or better than your grass. So that's the literal meaning. So the meaning of this is that the lives and situations of other people and places always seem better. So when if we always compare ourselves to other people, other places, and other situations, we always think that it is better, the other people have it better. But it is not always the reality. So we have the impression, we think it is better elsewhere, but it's not really the case. So the meaning again is, it is bad to always compare yourself to other people, places, and situations. Don't be envious of other people. Be content with what you already have. So that's what this means. Because we can see here on the example, this is the literal example. The cow seems to think that the grass is better here than on his side or her side, when in reality the grass is exactly the same on both sides. Example. Jane says, "I hate this small town. It's so boring. I want to move to London." And Sarah replies, "The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. But London is a very expensive place to live. You might regret moving there." So Sarah is saying, well, it always looks like it's better in another city, living somewhere else. You always think it's going to be better, but in reality, it's not always the case. Okay? Cross that bridge when you come to it. And the literal meaning is, worry about crossing the bridge only when you arrive at the bridge, not before. So don't worry about crossing the bridge before you arrive at the bridge. So that's the literal meaning. And the real meaning, when we use it in English, it means don't worry about future problems. Maybe those problems will not happen. Okay, so don't stress about something 10 years in the future or tomorrow or next week, because the problem might not even happen. concentrate on the present. If you have problems in the future, you will solve them in the future. Okay, so don't worry about the future now. Concentrate on the present. Example. Jane says, "If I get the job, how will I find a place to live in London?" And Sarah replies, "Well, cross that bridge when you come to it. For the moment, concentrate on preparing for the job interview." Okay, so Jane, she doesn't even have the job yet. She doesn't know if she has passed the interview, but she's already worrying about finding a place to live in London. And Sarah is saying, well, don't worry about living in London yet. Cross that bridge when you come to it. Okay? So this is my favorite proverb. Every cloud has a silver lining. And the literal meaning is this. Look, so here is a cloud, a dark cloud in the middle. And look at the edge. This is the silver lining. The lining means the outside, the edges, the frame of the cloud, the edges. That's the silver lining. It's the color. So the literal meaning is this. The sun is behind every cloud, because this silver lining is caused by the sun. The center of the cloud is dark, but the edges are bright. So can you guess what this means? Well, the meaning is there is always a positive aspect of a bad situation. Therefore, don't be pessimistic. Don't look at the negatives. Be optimistic. Look at the positives. So concentrate on the silver lining, because that means that the sun is behind the cloud. So very soon the sun will appear. Example, Jane says, "I am ill. I feel terrible." And Sarah replies, "Well, at least you don't have to go to work. Every cloud has a silver lining." So there is the bad situation is that Jane is ill, but Sarah is saying, well, look at the positive side. You don't have to go to work. Every cloud has a silver lining. Okay, there is a positive aspect in your bad situation. So I like this because it's reminding you to be optimistic. Always look at the positives in life. Make hay while the sun shines. So the literal meaning is that farmers prefer to make hay during the good weather, because in fact it is impossible to make hay if it is raining, for example. So making hay, it needs good, dry weather. Therefore, it is important to act quickly when the sun starts shining. So when farmers see that the weather is good, that the sun is shining, they quickly act and they quickly make the hay. So that's the literal meaning. So the real meaning is take advantage of every good opportunity that comes to you. Act quickly when you have a good opportunity. Don't waste time. Example. The supplier announces that we will be increasing our prices next year. Therefore, we advise you to make hay while the sun shines and buy now while the prices are low. So the supplier is saying, there is a good opportunity until the end of the year. The prices will be low until the end of the year. So make hay while the sun shines. Take advantage of this good opportunity. Okay, act quickly. Many hands make light work. So the meaning of this is quite simple. This is an easy one. And it means a task gets finished more quickly if lots of people are helping. So if you have a job to do, the job will be done more quickly if there are lots of people, many hands. So an example situation. The situation is a sales manager is motivating his staff. The sales manager says, this year we must sell 1,000 computers. It's a big goal, but many hands make light work. Okay, so he's saying, yes, I realize it's a big job, a big task, a big goal, but if everybody in the team works hard, then we will finish the task. We will sell 1,000 computers. Many hands make light work. Now this is the opposite. This is the opposite of many hands make light work. Too many cooks spoil the broth. And well, broth means it's like a thick soup. It's a kind of soup. So the literal meaning is, well, soup doesn't taste good, doesn't taste nice if many cooks add ingredients to it. So if there are lots of cooks and chefs who are working on the soup and adding salt, and someone else is adding some carrots, and perhaps someone else is adding some meat, then the result is that the soup is not good. Okay, so that's the literal meaning. So the real meaning is, well, if too many people are working on the same task, often the results of the task are not good. So this is the opposite of many hands make light work. Example. The CEO asks, why is the project taking so long? It should already be finished. And the manager replies, well, the team members are always arguing with each other. Too many cooks spoil the broth. I think we need to reduce the size of the team. So basically, the team is too big, and that is causing arguments within the team. Too many cooks spoil the broth. So, my favorite proverb is, every cloud has a silver lining. What is your favorite proverb? Maybe it is one of the proverbs I have just told you. Or maybe you have a different favorite proverb. So tell me in the comments below this video. Okay, so there we are. That's the end. Here are some other videos which I think you'll be interested in.